about this crazy weekend of college football. Bunch of coaching hires went on this past week. Um, I guess we can start with the biggest one, and that was Lane Kiffin and that whole saga. Seemed like,
Ridiculous.
yeah. Go ahead, give your take, because I'm a little bit partial to this, considering Florida was involved in this coaching search, and he kind of scorned us, or we scorned ourselves. We scorned. I don't know really what the story is, but from a team that had no horse in this race, what did that just look like to you? Because it was a fiasco.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was already done with this whole thing days before it became official because I was just tired of the whole is he leaving? Is he not leaving? Like, I don't care. Leave or don't. Make a decision. And then there was the bit about Lane wanting to coach through the playoffs. And it's like, in what world would they let you coach through the playoffs when you're going to LSU? You're in the same conference. Y'all don't like each other. Why would you let somebody that just left your team go and coach a team that you're rivals with? Y'all recruit against, y'all play against. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And people were bringing up, oh, Dan Lanning still coached Georgia through the national championship after he took the head coach job. It's a completely different circumstance. He wasn't, first of all, he was not going to be the coordinator of Alabama. He was not leaving Georgia to be Alabama's defensive coordinator. And he also was not doing the same role once he took the head coaching job at Oregon. He was not calling plays for those playoffs. He was still coaching, yes, involved with Georgia, but he was half and half. Let's be honest, because he was trying to hold together the recruiting class that Oregon had as much as he can. Also working in the transfer portal and also trying to coach Georgia for the playoffs and Natty. He was not the play caller for that team. So we need to put that narrative to bed. And again, it's not like he was taking a going from a coordinator to a head coaching job, and he was also going to a different conference. It was SEC to Pac-12 at the time, and now Big Ten. So it's not like we would ever be playing Georgia year in and year out. We happen to play Georgia in a non-conference game that next year, but we're not a team that's going to be playing each other all the time, and we're not usually recruiting against them. Now at this point we are, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different dynamic, and you see it all the time from other places. Like a guy leaves um one team to another, and they don't coach, but then you'll see in situations where they do leave, it's like, yeah, in a situation like John Summerall leaving Tulane to go to Florida, like Tulane doesn't play Florida. It's G5 to SEC. Those teams have nothing to do with each other. So yeah, like their AD is not going to be bitter about their guy taking a way bigger job and leaving like that because they know what the deal is. These G5 teams at this point know that if their team pops, those players, the coach, all that is probably going to leave. So it's a different dynamic. It's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. And then there was the bit with all the assistants where he told them, "Oh, if you don't get on this plane with me to LSU, then you don't have a job at LSU with me." It's like, dude, why are you being a whole baby about the situation because they didn't let you coach the team for the playoffs? You're just being a big ass baby, a grown ass 50-year-old baby, whatever. How old he is? I think he's 40 something, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is just a giant baby.
Right.
You should be wearing a damn diaper and having a bottle in
And
your mouth,
and and that's my thing.
sitting in a
Sometimes
high chair with a bib on.
I think I learned that, like, sometimes it's just not worth the circus. And I think a lot of what was framed, a lot of what was said about Lane Kiffin is that he had changed and that he had matured, and he does hot yoga, and He reads inspirational quotes, and he's a family man. He's getting back with his ex-wife, all that good stuff. But none of that really, that just all seemed to be a facade. I mean, just based on this whole situation, he just seemed to really revel and relish the situation. He loved the spotlight. He was burning unnecessary bridges. I think he just handled this whole situation poorly on his end. I think, I mean, he landed himself a great job at LSU. LSU is one of the best, if not the best job in the country. So I think Lane Kiffin will be fine. But um, yeah, that was a whole lot. Um, and if you
I
want to
mean,
have some
it's
fun,
just ridiculous. And this is who he's been
yeah.
his whole entire career. Go back to
And he hasn't won anything.
USC
So is it
getting
worth it?
fired on the tarmac, getting fired by Nick Saban,
Yeah.
leaving Tennessee after a year. I mean,
In the middle of the night.
yeah, all like every place he's been has been a catastrophe when he left.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, maybe the Florida. I don't remember what happened with the Florida Atlantic thing. I mean, was that his only place where he was just like
I
a
think he had
regular
good.
person?
Yeah, I think he had good vibes at FAU. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because he
FAU
did
saved
win the
him.
American, which is his biggest accomplishment as a coach, winning a conference. He
Right.
hasn't won a conference or anything as a coach ever,
And it just
other
gets to
than
a
that.
point,
So
right? It's like,
I
are
don't
you
even
worth it?
understand why people make like why these ads and everybody is like having this bidding war over this dude who hasn't really done shit his whole career. Not as a head coach. I mean, yeah, okay, he won the American Conference with Florida Atlantic, but again, on the Power Five level, he has not done that
Right.
as a head
Um,
coach.
I
So
will give him his
please,
credit though. I think what his turnaround at Ole Miss and what he's done there in the past 6 years, um,
look,
has
that
been
has
pretty
been
solid.
monumental.
Yeah,
That has been monumental.
for sure. I
But
know
the
you're not
circus,
flaming him. I was just bringing that up.
no, no, absolutely. But the circus is just ridiculous.
Right.
You know,
Just
and you know what's even crazier? That freaking dog wasn't even his dog. Like, what type of clown behavior is going on? But you know what? You know what?
yeah. Search if you want to have fun. Not to interrupt you, but if you want to have a fun time on Twitter, search hashtag Lane Steen Files. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, release the Lainstein files.
Yeah,
But
release him.
you know, this should just be a lesson to everybody that whenever you see a famous person parading around a dog, they're probably not doing the day-to-day care for the dog. At the very least, even if they technically own the dog and maybe the dog lives in their house, they're not doing the day-to-day care for the dog. It's just like every time there's a new president and then they show the president's dog. You really think the president of the United States is walking a goddamn dog every day? I mean, give me a freaking break, man. Can y'all just stop with the freaking optics? Like, you're not fooling me. You know, you're only the only thing you're doing is pissing me off. You know what I'm saying? It's like when a kid asks for a dog, and then it's always the parent that ends up taking care of the dog every time. You know, it's mommy and daddy who end up walking it, feeding it, you know, taking it to the vet, buying the freaking food, getting the shots. You know, like come on. Can we just stop with the optics, the nonsense, everything? But this is who Lane Kiffin is. You know, everywhere he's gone has been a clown show when he left, besides maybe Florida Atlantic. But I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to see what happens at LSU. And you know what? If Oregon plays against LSU, I'm ready to kick their ass.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of smoke for Kiffin at LSU next year. I think if I'm correct, LSU visits Ole Miss next year at some point, so that should be fun. LSU and Florida usually play every year. Don't know if we'll play next year because of the SEC schedule and how it's changed and all that, but it's gonna be a lot of free smoke for the Tigers, and I'm sure they'll be ready for it. Talked about Kalani Satake being extended by BYU. He will not be headed over to Penn State. It was announced that Taj Lupoy is currently the top target for the Cal head coaching job, and they're zeroing in on him. Nothing has been announced quite yet, but that one seems to be pretty set in stone. Um, Will Stein, another
Hold on, hold
Oregon
on, hold on, hold on,
coordinator.
hold on,
He
hold on, hold on.
Go ahead.
We gotta unpack this whole BYU situation.
You
We
want to talk
gotta
about it in the
unpack,
crumble cookie?
bro. First of all, this whole fiasco where it looked like Kalani Sitake was about to take the Penn State job. Then it was like he's not gonna take the job. The founder of Crumble Cookie puts out a tweet saying that he's gonna get to work. Um, I mean, this is just amazing. So we got all the Mormons banding together to put up the money to keep their coach. And quite honestly, y'all know I'm not a fan of BYU or anything like that. But like I think this is great for the sport. And I honestly like, I don't even know if that was even a good fit for Penn State. Like I think this is a great thing going at BYU. BYU wants a Mormon as their coach, which I'm pretty sure Coach Sataki is. They so like you're leaving that like I think he wants to be at BYU. Like this is one of those things that this is the type of job that should be his last job. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Penn State, you could go there and then just flame out, and then now you're a coordinator or a position coach for the rest of your life. But like if you're at BYU, you're constantly in the mix for the Big 12 title game. You're right there in the playoffs. You're never gonna get fired. Like, and you're making a ton of money. I mean, I don't understand why you would even jump to Penn State when, like I said, you could end up flaming out of there. And we don't know what happened. I mean, I guess then the counter to that would be like, well, if you're a competitor, you want to be the best, you should always try to be the best and things like that. But who says you can't be the best at BYU nowadays with NIL and the transfer portal and all that? But I just think that whole thing was crazy. And then on the Penn State side, they still don't have a coach. I mean, you said it before. They was the first team to fire their coach, and now they're the last one to hire a coach. I mean,
And
Auburn
getting all
hired a
their
coach,
recruits
Florida
snatched
hired a coach,
by their former coach.
LSU hired a coach. Everybody's hiring coaches, but Penn State don't have a coach. So, I mean, who are they even going to hire? Are they going to hire Brian Hartline at this point? I mean, because I heard that they didn't want him, and
No clue. I
I
literally
don't
have
really
no
know what that's
clue.
about. But I don't know where they turn. Are they going to roll with the guy who's the current interim head coach right now? I mean, who knows how that's going to turn out? So I mean, what do you think about this whole situation? Because I really think it's odd. Like, this is one of the biggest jobs in the sport, and it seems like either they don't want to hire, like they're not doing the right thing in hiring, or no one wants to hire them. Because I mean, look, both Oregon's coordinators just accepted head coaching jobs, and none of them are Penn State. I mean, you mean to tell me that Will Stein wouldn't have accepted the Penn State over Kentucky job, or Tosh Lupoy, Penn State over Cal?
But
I
Will
mean, I
Stein
know
went to
there's,
Kentucky, so I don't know about that. But
huh?
I think those are both their alma maters, no? Tosh Lupoy, Cal, Will Stein,
No,
Kentucky.
Will Stein played for Louisville, so
We
that's
sure?
actually his rival.
Are we sure?
Yeah, he played for Louisville. He backed up Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, wow. Why did I think he was maybe he's from Kentucky. He just didn't go
Yeah,
to
he is from
Kentucky.
Kentucky,
Gotcha.
which Louisville is also in
Yeah, in
Kentucky.
Kentucky, right. Okay. Yeah.
But
And
this
then
is home
Lupoy, he
state,
went to
so
Cal,
there is
right?
that. Yeah, Lupoy took the Cal job, which that's his alma mater.
Okay.
But still, like I'm just like, I mean, I think Penn State could have got Will Stein if they offered him. I mean, maybe he turned it down. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, why would you turn down Penn State for Kentucky? I mean, who knows
No.
what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to these things, but I don't know. But then I also heard Tom McShay actually said today that that he thinks that big agent is like sabotaging Penn State
Oh wow.
because like
I-
he owns, well, not
He has
owns,
all the
but he
clients, yeah,
yeah, he
pretty
has
much.
all the clients and he's basically like blocking Penn State from getting a coach. I mean, this
They
is
pissed him off.
crazy.
They might have pissed him off.
This is some crazy corporate sabotage type stuff
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, Penn
Football is
State is
beautiful.
they're not in a good spot right now. I mean, maybe there's a coach out there that's for them and that is right for the Penn State job, but off the top of my head, I don't have any candidates
Yeah.
that I could see fitting right now. But again,
I mean,
that's not my
and
job.
then you
So
got the other side of it with James Franklin literally just taking the entire recruiting class of Virginia Tech. I mean, they have no
yeah.
recruiting
Oh
class right now at all. Penn State.
no, that's the funniest part of it all. Like, just got absolutely raided. So
Yeah, like
that's keep.
I just think,
Good.
and I've said this before, like I think a lot of these schools and these ADs are just trying to hire a sitting head coach. Like they're just trying to poach a guy from X school and things like that instead of, really trying to research and do their diligence and hire somebody that's up and coming that, maybe may not be this proven head coach, but they know the game and they've been successful at a lower level or something and have the potential. Maybe they're a coordinator. I think that a lot of teams are going to have to do that because when this Kalani Sitake thing even started popping up, I was just kind of dumbfounded. Like, why is Penn like that? To me, is just Penn State just trying to poach a coach from a program that's perceived as lower. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just I don't know. I feel like they were just trying to take the easy way out. It's like, oh, this guy won at X school. He's gonna come here and still win. I mean, when that dynamic is completely different. When you have like the Mormon thing, it's Utah, and it's in the west part of the United States. Like, I just think it's different. And then at BYU, you got to factor in how a lot of their guys are mission guys. They're going to be older. Like, if you have guys that are seniors, they're going to be 24, 25 years old a lot of the time. So they if they keep guys around, once you get that rotation going of just older guys coming in and out of the school, like it's just different at BYU, and I think it's a very unique job that can win, especially in the 12-team playoff era, can get in the playoffs because of them having a lot of older guys on the roster, and I just wonder if whether it's Penn State or another school that, whatever coach is having success at BYU is going to have the same success at a different school. I don't know. I just, I wonder if Penn State is just completely botching this.
Yeah, it that's what it feels like right now. But it's hard to tell. That's the thing about coaching hires. Um, you don't know. You won't, and we
Yeah.
won't know about any of these coaching hires for at least a year.
Yeah. I
Or maybe
mean,
some of
same
these
thing
programs
with
a couple years.
Summerall and
Yeah.
what's his name at Auburn. Like,
Yep. Um,
we just don't know.
yep. Another one of these coaches, Bob Chesney, currently has JMU 11-1. He accepted UCLA's head coaching position. So he will be headed to the Big Ten. Um, um,
So
Eric
Jedd
Morris,
Fish did not leave, man.
no.
Washington is holding on. Their coach did not go to UCLA or Florida.
Right. Alex Golesh, USF's head coach, has accepted the position to become Auburn's new head coach. Um, I like that fit. I like him as a coach. Wouldn't have minded him taking that Florida coaching position, but
Yeah.
think he'll be solid at Auburn, for sure. But obviously, again, we no one could really truly predict how these coaches are gonna turn out. Um, Ryan Silverfield, Memphis's head coach, he was hired to take over the Arkansas program. Arkansas, kind of in the mud, but an SEC job, good opportunity for a coach to, try to make a mark, try to establish himself. Florida hired John Summerall from Tulane after missing out on Lane Kiffin. Pretty bad optics when it comes to this hire, to be honest, just with the whole way the Lane Kiffin situation played out, um, and just some of the behind the scenes stuff that kind of leaked out on the Florida side. Just not great. And then to go back to a G5 coach that was very similar on paper to our last head coach, Billy Napier. It just did not feel good when the hire was made. Florida is not a job that people need to learn how to become a head coach at. John Summerall literally got his first head coaching job 4 years ago. Um, he was a head coach for one full cycle at two different places. So still pretty inexperienced, but when I got to hear him talk, when I got to hear his press conference, um, said all the right things. And obviously, those are just words for now. I think how he hires his staff is going to be very important for Florida. I think how he recruits is going to be even more important. Um, so we'll see. I don't feel as bad about the hire as I did when it actually happened. Again, I think the optics were just not good. Like it was just not a good look the way this played out. But maybe Florida ended up with the guy that they need after all, um, with John Summerall. Um, Pat
Y'all
Fitz,
went from Sunbelt Billy to
something about Summerall.
yeah,
Well, he was in the American most recently, but he was at Troy to start his career.
G5 John.
Yeah, G5 John. Yep. Michigan State, they hired Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald to become their head coach. I thought that was maybe a potential option at Penn State, but Michigan State kind of swooped in and scooped him up. Eric Morris, he is heading over to Oklahoma State. Also read that he's taking with him this 24-year-old GM. So
24-year-old GM.
yeah, I'll find the kid's name and I'll send it to you later. You can look it up whenever you have a chance. But yes, Oklahoma.
Imagine being a GM of a Power Four football
Yep,
team at the age of 24.
at the age of 24. Yeah.
That boy gonna have some gray hair by the time he's 30.
Yep. Pete Golding, we mentioned it earlier. He accepted the head coaching position at Ole Miss, so he got a raise um, and a promotion. And yeah, I might be missing a name or two, but I don't believe so.
I think you hit everybody.
I think I hit everybody. Yeah. Um, so let's switch gears then. Let's get into these college football playoff rankings that were just dropped um, earlier today. Um, Let me make sure these are the right one. I believe so. All right. Um, Starts at the top with James Madison becoming ranked for the first time in the college football playoff rankings at 25. North Texas also becomes ranked for the first time in the college football, or did they drop out and then come back in? I don't remember. But
This season.
this season, yeah.
I don't think they were ranked ever
Okay. So yeah,
in the
they're in.
CFP rankings.
Okay. So they joined the CFP rankings as well for the first time at 24. And then one other team I'll mention at the top is Tulane. Tulane currently sits at 20. So right now we do have three G5 teams in the top 25. And the reason why I bring this up is because how we mentioned earlier, the ACC, which features Duke and Virginia heading into the weekend, only has Virginia ranked at 17 outside of Miami. We'll talk about Miami in a little bit too, but only has Virginia ranked at 17. If Duke wins, Virginia would drop to 10-3, would pretty much drop out of the top 25 or pretty much lower in the top 25. And yeah, that would give us a rare chance where two G5 teams could make the playoffs again. For you guys that don't remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, Steph, because I don't fully remember. It's the top five conference champions, right?
Yep.
Yep. So the top five conference. That's not the top five or the top four Power Four champions. No, that's not what it is. It's the top five
It's the
ranked.
5 highest ranked
Yep,
conference
conference
champions.
champions. So if the winner of the American and the winner of the Sun Belt is ranked higher than the ACC champ, then the ACC would be totally left out of the playoff, marking the first time in college football history a Power Four conference is completely left out. Is that
I
Is
mean,
that
do
true?
you honestly think that would happen though?
Since the expansion, at least. Say that again.
Do you honestly think that would happen?
Um,
Because I think they would put Duke ahead of JMU if Duke won.
yeah, I
Honestly,
mean we talked about it. I guess Duke has played a way tougher strength of schedule. If you're looking at
they would have
resumes,
8 Power 4 wins,
yep,
and
and a conference
JMU would
championship,
have zero.
right? So,
JMU lost to Louisville. I mean,
right,
If JMU wanted to make their case, they should have beat Louisville.
right. So there's going to be a big debate as to what happens because again, North Texas and Tulane they play each other, so there's no chance of both of those teams making it. If there is going to be two teams, it's going to be JMU. So the argument really would be a Duke versus a JMU, and I think that really could go either way. And most likely, if I was in the room, I think I would hand it to Duke, but who really knows?
Yeah, I mean this because I've seen a lot of people on the internet saying both sides of this argument, and I kind of get it. Like if it was my choice, I would put JMU just because the ACC is terrible, and I would just think it's hilarious that somebody would get left out for being so bad, and y'all let a 7-5 team into y'all conference title game, and y'all let that team win, getting to 8-5, and then knocking out UVA, knocking out Miami, knocking out who else was up there? Georgia Tech, like in this, and honestly, we're gonna start to see a lot of wacky stuff like this because of how big all these conferences are and not everybody playing everybody. Like Miami, Georgia Tech, UVA, Duke, like none of them played each other. Like and these
Yeah,
like SMU, well SMU beat Miami, but all SMU had to do was beat Cal and they would have been in, and then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Like SMU would have been a 9-3 team in the conference title game, and then if they would have won it, they would have been 10-3. It looks way different than an 8-5 conference title winner. And that's because Duke I think was 6-2 in conference, but they lost their whole non-conference slate. I mean, and Duke has just been such an up and down team this year, where it's like they have potential to beat a lot of these teams. So I think it's very well possible that they beat Virginia. Virginia's no juggernaut. I mean, what's the spread on this game actually?
I'm not 100% sure, but we'll talk a little bit about that game when we get to the pick segment. But you're right. I 1,000% agree, and we talked about it this weekend in our text. But Manny Diaz and Duke in the ACC championship game, and potentially with the ACC championship in football before Miami. Yikes!
Yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. Like Miami fired Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz, mind you, this isn't even like his first job. Like he
No,
was a
it was at Penn
coordinator at
State.
Penn State,
Yep.
then got the head coaching job at Duke, and has his team in the ACC title game before Miami ever was. It's been like 20 years. Miami hasn't won a conference in 20 years. They've never been in the ACC title game.
Let's
And Duke is in the ACC title game with the coach y'all fired.
yeah,
Miami's a
that's
joke, bro.
nasty.
Y'all don't deserve anything. Y'all
That's
don't
nasty.
deserve to be in the
They
playoffs.
don't.
I don't care about how y'all feel. And
Yeah.
before I get to that, because that's bringing me to what I really want to talk about. But the spread on that game is, at least I'm looking at ESPN. I don't know what sportsbook they use, but they got UVA favored by 3.5.
Yeah. That seems about right,
So
but
Duke very well can win
to
this
win this
game,
game. Yeah.
and they might knock everybody out of the playoffs.
and and yeah, let's talk about these bubble teams. Let's move on to the bubble teams because
Yeah.
let's start off with the teams that really don't deserve it. And that's that 14, 13, 12, Vandy, Texas, Miami. Um, most people, and I'm most people, I don't think Texas deserves to be in the playoffs. And
Hell no.
Texas beat Vandy, so it's kind of hard. As much as I think Vandy has a great resume and Vandy had a great season, if I don't think Texas belongs, Vandy definitely doesn't belong. And then there's Miami. I know a lot of people are talking about on-field results mattering, and I do think they need to matter. I think that win over Notre Dame is important, and I do understand the argument. Well, then they beat Notre Dame head to head. They had the same record, resume, da 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 yada. I just hate that that's a cop out for these loser ass teams. Like those arguments should be used when you're trying to decide between Ohio State and Indiana on who's
Yeah.
number one. Not when you have these teams that have 2, 3 losses. If you lose, you're subject to whatever comes with that. You don't
Yep.
deserve anything. It doesn't matter. You lost 2 games. And not only did you lose 2 games, you lost 2 conference games. So if Miami is all this and all that, and if they're a playoff team, well, one of Notre Dame's losses is to that quote unquote playoff team. And both of Miami's losses are to bottom feeders in the worst conference in the
Yep.
country that won't even maybe have a playoff team this year. So I don't get the whole Miami this or that. I don't even get how they're up there at number 12, in my opinion. I mean, they're a fine team. I'm not going to sit
I
here and say
mean, you
they're
would put
ass.
Texas and Vandy ahead of them. I ain't gonna lie, I'll probably put Vandy ahead of Miami.
Yeah,
I'll
I
put
would.
Vandy at
That's, bro,
12.
if you gave Miami Vandy's resume, Vandy would be 12 right now. That
You
would
think they
be,
would? You think Vandy? You think Miami would be at 11 if you gave them Vandy's
yeah,
resume?
they would be maybe over BYU. Like they would have that SEC bias because they'd have the bigger brand. Like I think
Yeah.
Vandy's getting a little punked right now. I think they have a great, and I think we also have to talk about this whole notion of you beat a team, what like who they are when like at that time. Like a lot of Vandy's wins, they beat South Carolina when South Carolina was I think 11th in the country.
They
Again,
beat
South Carolina,
LSU when they were ranked number
they
10
beat
too.
LSU, and again, these teams wound up being trash. But at the time, were they that? In some cases, the answer is yes. From from
I
week
think South
one,
Carolina was
South
always
Carolina was
trash.
ass. Yeah, South Carolina had been trash from off rip, but it's
Why would
it's
they
that's
rank
kind
so
of
high?
hard to that's kind of hard, because in other situations for other teams. So again, I think when you start getting to this point, you look at Vandy again, you tip your cap. That's a great season, but I wouldn't put Vandy in, but I definitely would not put in Texas or Miami either.
And you know what? It's crazy because I would. It's like Texas did beat Vandy, and I would still have Vandy ranked ahead of them because
Yeah.
Texas has the worst loss out of all these bubble teams.
Yep.
Even worse than USC.
Yeah.
Like you even look at the teams below: Utah, USC, UVA, Arizona, Michigan, Tulane, Houston. Like the rest of the top 25 does not have a loss
To a
that's as
four
bad as
loss
Texas.
Florida. Yeah.
Y'all lost to a 4-8 team.
Yeah. That was
Four
nasty.
and eight team. They were a dead team walking. They coach knew he was getting fired. Y'all lost to that team.
They try to save his job.
Oh my goodness. Like
uh
this is so crazy. And
yeah,
this and
Texas
these
is,
people want to tell you that they deserve to be in a college football playoff.
and
And
I
it's
get their
like,
argument. Not to cut you
no,
off.
I
I
don't
get
get
their
their argument. Win
well,
your
if
damn game.
their
And then
argument
the other part of it is like, well, who are you kicking out?
right.
Because Notre Dame is better than you. You're going to kick out Alabama. You're
No.
going to kick out Oklahoma,
No. Right. That's
A&M,
true.
Ole Miss. All these teams are better than you. All
Yep.
of them are better than you. It is what it is.
And they
Like
all
you could
played a
talk
hard
about
schedule.
the
Texas is
wins,
not the only team that played a hard schedule.
right? And it's like, look, listen, win your games. You're not getting punished for playing Ohio State. You're getting punished for losing to Florida. That's
Yeah.
what it is. They
Yeah.
want to just point out the wins. Oh, we beat this team, we beat that team, but they don't want to bring up the losses. Like it's the whole body of work. Like you
Hmm.
got Sark, he's another one being a freaking baby. He's being a baby, saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, is it about wins?" And if we're not in the playoffs, then no one's going to schedule tough out of conference games and things like that. First of all, you're being a baby. Second of all, yes, they are because the TV networks are going to make them because all these games make money. It's the same reason why we're not getting rid of conference championship games because they make too much money for the networks. So stop it. There's always going to be crazy games in the regular season between, the biggest brands in the sport because that's what makes money. Um, in Texas, you're not getting punished for losing to Ohio State. You're getting punished for losing to Florida. Not to mention, You got blown out by Georgia. So how are you going to sit up here and say, "Oh, we should be a playoff team"? You got blown out by a playoff team. You got embarrassed. Okay,
Yep.
so stop. You're not that guy. Just stop. It's over. Stop being a baby. Stop acting like the world is out to get you. Stop acting like everything is rigged against you because quite frankly, Texas has always got what it's wanted its entire existence. I mean, how many conferences has Texas like left over the years? They made the Southwest Conference collapse. They left the Big 12. They were going to go to the Pac-12 back in like 2010, which that was a completely botched thing by the Pac-12. But now they're in the SEC. I mean, okay, now that they're not making the playoffs, they're not making the SEC championship. What are they going to do? They're going to leave the SEC too? What are you? When are you just going to accept the fact that you're not that guy? I mean, Texas is another one of these big brands that's not good year in and year out. They're mediocre for most of their existence, and they've had a few good times where they were good. Yes, when y'all had Vince Young and Colt McCoy, y'all was up there. Then y'all had damn near a decade of being ass. Then even with Sark, y'all was ass for about 5 years. Like, what are we talking about? They used to call this man 7-win Sark. I mean, them first 2 years, he didn't even get to 7. So Texas really needs to slow their roll, man. Y'all not one of these programs that's nice year in and year out. You're just not. You're just not. I mean, like, I don't understand where this mentality comes from. I don't understand where this mentality comes from. Like, y'all just want to run away from everything as soon as it gets hard. Pause. Like, y'all just want to leave the conference. Y'all want to say, oh, now we're not scheduling any tough games. Y'all sound pussy. I'm just gonna say it like it is. It's a soft mentality. If y'all won y'all games, y'all will be in the playoffs. And they are, and you know what? They are right in a way because if they were 10-2, they would be in the playoffs. If they beat Florida, they'd be in the playoffs. And you know what? You can't use the tough schedule argument when you lost to the worst freaking team on your schedule. Like y'all lost to y'all worst conference opponent. Did they not? I mean, who did they play the SEC? They played Florida,
No, they played Kentucky. They
Oklahoma,
played
Kentucky.
Mississippi
Okay,
State.
they almost lost to Kentucky. And let's actually break down the whole body of work because y'all look like ass against UTEP and San Jose State, who are not even good G5 programs. They both suck. Y'all look like ass against both of those teams. Y'all lost to Florida. Okay, y'all was in a dogfight with Kentucky and Mississippi State, two of the bottom feeders in your conference. One of them fired their coach. Y'all went to overtime with both of these teams, Kentucky and Mississippi State. Please, you're not a playoff team. You're a pretty good team that got a little better as the year went on, but y'all were nowhere near the hype that y'all had in the beginning of the year. And it's nobody's fault but y'all's because y'all have all the money, all the resources, all the recruiting, all the coaches, everything. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your coach sitting up there acting like a damn toddler because he didn't win the games he was supposed to win. If you win the game you're supposed to win, you would be in the playoffs. If y'all beat Florida, y'all will be in the playoffs. I'm tired of Texas. I'm tired of their fans. They was whining on social media all damn day. Oh, the sport is ruined because we didn't make them. No, the sport don't revolve around you. I know everything is bigger in Texas, including the people. So y'all think stuff revolves around you because y'all people down in Texas as big as a goddamn star and round like one too. So y'all think everything revolves around you, but guess what? It don't. Even if y'all are so damn big, y'all have gravitational pull like a star as well. But guess what? Y'all everything don't revolve around you, and the sport don't revolve around you. So y'all don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But y'all gonna be in that Alamo Bowl against USC. I mean, what you think? What do you think the spread on that's gonna be?
Who cares? To be honest,
You don't think that's gonna be a good matchup? The Alamo Bowl with Texas and USC?
I mean, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good TV on in the background when I'm building a gingerbread house with my girlfriend. Say that on December 23rd or whatever date that shitty ass game is played on. But let's talk a little bit about BYU because I think they're the key team to this whole situation. I think the top 9 is pretty much locked in, 1 through
Right.
9. Um, Notre Dame, I think they pretty much depend on what BYU does. I think if BYU loses, that locks Notre Dame into that 10th spot. That would put the ACC champ into that 11th or 12th spot. And that would put the top G5 team into that final spot, or potentially we would get two G5 teams into those two final spots. And uh, Miami, Texas, Vandy, they would all miss out. The chaos situation is obviously BYU beating Texas Tech. I think that locks them into a top 10. That would give the G5 the 11th, and then that last spot would pretty much be up for grabs. Between, I guess Miami would be the highest ranked currently right now. Maybe they would slide in to that playoff spot. Maybe,
Miami's not getting 11.
yeah, no, maybe a Texas or
11
a
is gonna
Vandy.
be the 11 and 12 is the last two conference winners. Whether
Um,
that's the American and the ACC or the
oh
American
yeah,
and
the American and the
JMU,
ACC, right? Yeah, that would lock it up if BYU
you
won.
gotta
They
be
would get
number
10.
10.
Yeah,
And
you're true.
Notre
That's
Dame
true.
better hope that BYU loses because if
Hmm.
BYU wins, they getting kicked
They're
out.
getting kicked out, right? So big implications heading into this weekend. Let's move on over to that part of the show. Let's make some championship game picks. Um, Give me 1 second as I pull up the schedule.
Wait, what was our record from last week?
Our record was we took Georgia to cover against Georgia Tech. They did not. Um, I took Michigan plus 12 and a half. You took Ohio State to cover. Ohio State covered. So I am 0-2. You're 1-1. We both took Oregon to cover. That moves me to 1-2. That moves you to 2-1. I took Vandy. You took Tennessee to cover. So that ties us both at 2-2. And then we
That
both
was
took
nasty.
Bama minus 6.5, and that puts us both at 3-2 for the week. So that puts me at 25-36 heading into championship weekend. And Steph, you move to 36-26. All right. Let's move into our championship picks. Only going to pick the Power 4 ones, and then we can make a pick for the ACC the AAC, the American, because that is the game where the most likely playoff team is going to come from. So that is Friday night, 8 p.m. North Texas, first Tulane. North Texas, one of the most high-powered offenses in the Group of Five this year. Tulane, been one of the more dominant teams over the past couple of years when it comes to this G5 level. Let me get the spread and all that pulled up. Sorry. North Texas is currently favored by 2.5 points on the road. So that's pretty big. You're gonna go with the favorite stuff, or you're gonna take Tulane at home to come
Wait,
away
that's a
with
home game. That's not a neutral site game.
no G5 plays the winner posts the championship
I know
games.
I thought the MAC one was a neutral site, but I could be
Maybe it
wrong.
is. Maybe the MAC is. Maybe they play in like Detroit or something like that. I think actually you're right, but I think majority of the other Sunbelt
Yeah,
not
because I
Sunbelt.
know the Mountain West is a home game as
Yeah,
well.
Mountain West, the Sun Belt, the American, they all play home games. Those three. I don't know about the other two, but yeah. I'm gonna go with Tulane. I'm gonna take my new head coach to show out to cover that spread. But um, Eric Morris, another great head coach. He was also promoted. He'll be taking over the Oklahoma State job. So uh, maybe both of these coaches are checked out. Maybe both of them are not. Who really knows how this game turns out?
What's the spread?
2.5 favored in North Texas.
North Texas is favored by 2.5.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
by a field goal.
Um, hmm. You know what? I'm going to go with. I'm gonna go with Tulane.
All right. Lock in Tulane plus 2.5. Let's move on to Saturday. It starts off noon ABC Big 12 championship. Like we just mentioned, one of the more important games of the weekend. BYU, Texas Tech. This game takes place at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Texas Tech favored by a big 12.5 points. And Steph, I'm going to take BYU to cover that.
No, I'm taking
12
Texas
and a
Tech.
half seems like a lot. I know last time these two teams played, Texas Tech was all over them, jumped out to a really early lead, and kind of just set down BYU's neck. I think BYU is going to be ready for this game. I don't think they're going to win it. I do think they are going to lose, but I think they're going to keep it much closer. Kalani Sataki just also signed that extension, so they're revitalized, they're invigorated, they're ready to play for their coach. They got a little boost of energy, and I think they come out to play. And this is a game that comes down to the wire. Notre Dame is sweating. They all got their Texas Tech T-shirts on, begging for those boys to get that victory. And um, I think Texas Tech does ultimately win, but I'm gonna take BYU plus 12.5. I think BYU could cover that. I think they can cover that.
I'm taking Texas Tech.
All right, Texas Tech has
I
been,
think that's gonna be a BTA.
yeah, they've been dominant all year, man, and they dominated them the first time. So um, not a bad pick. Um, moving along, 4 p.m. on ABC. It's the SEC championship between Georgia and Alabama. How many times have we said that in the past 5 to 10 years? Although, bit of a different look now with Nick Saban being retired. Georgia is currently a 3 point favorite in Atlanta. And yeah, it's kind of hard to pick against Georgia, man. I'm going to go with the dogs. I know Bama um, has given Georgia issues. Um, I think they are a pretty good matchup for Georgia, all things considered, but I just don't love the brand, the style of football Bama's been playing. Just hasn't really inspired me much, and I would not feel confident in picking them as much as I want to hate on Georgia and as much as I want to see them lose this game. I think they do win because Kirby's a sicko.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I mean, Georgia has gotten better and better as the season has went on, and I don't know if Bama really has. Um, I think they have like towards the middle and then kind of plateaued. I think Georgia's peaking right now, and I think they're gonna get it done in the SEC championship. So I'm going Georgia cover.
All right, a matchup between the top two teams in the country, undefeated as they stand. 8 p.m. on Fox is the Big Ten Championship featuring Indiana and Ohio State, two powerhouse programs up north. Ohio State favored by a slim 4 points. Steph, how you feeling?
Um, I feel like the Buckeyes are gonna cover.
Yeah, I uh I was down Ohio State, especially heading into the Michigan game. Wasn't doubting them enough where I thought they would lose, but I thought Michigan was definitely going to shake things up and really maybe open the eyes of Ohio State. But the way they handled that game was very impressive to me. And I told myself that I would pick them in this game if they beat Michigan and covered, which they did. So I'm gonna be right with you, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick Ohio State in this one as well. But I'm excited to see what Indiana really does because I still do think Ohio State is vulnerable. I think, like you mentioned, Michigan State had a chance early in that game and they just didn't capitalize. They kicked field goals and then Ohio State hung around and scored touchdowns, and that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to be enough to beat Ohio State. Now Indiana, on the other hand, I think they're a team that they can score touchdowns off those turnovers if those turnovers come. If it's another slow start for Ohio State, I think Indiana can jump on them and stay on them. So still a dangerous game in my opinion for Ohio State, but I could definitely see them pulling this one out and winning by a touchdown, um, maybe even 10 points, just because of the level of athlete that Ohio State has compared to Indiana, as well coached as they are and as hard as they play. Um, there is a talent gap still between Ohio State and most schools, let alone a school like Indiana. No offense, they're amazing. So,
Bro,
no,
Ohio State still got the two best players in the country.
yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are saying Arvell Reese could be the first pick in the draft. So Caleb
Yeah, that guy's
Downs,
a beast.
yeah. So they might have the three best players in the country, and a lot of people like Julian saying as the Heisman. So maybe there's the four best players in the country. So it's just hard to pick against Ohio State right now. It is. Ryan Day is a great head coach. Um, that program is a machine. It's going to take a lot for Indiana, but it's not impossible. It can be done. 4 points is not. It's not a lot. Vegas, they don't build palaces in the desert for nothing. They know what they're talking about. So they think it's going to be a close game. It should be a close game. Duke of Virginia, like you mentioned, that is another game Vegas believes will be close. The ACC championship game, 8 p.m. on ABC. Probably the least watched championship game of the weekend because it'll be on the same time as the Big Ten championship game. But
Bro, them tickets is
yeah,
probably cheap.
another one of those games that pretty important. I would say the second most important game of the weekend, although it's probably going to be the least watched game um, behind that BYU Texas Tech game. UVA, they need a win to really cement the ACC and give them a chance in the playoffs. Duke, with a win, chaos may follow. 3.5 for UVA. Now, you mentioned that you thought Duke could win this game. Is it enough faith in Duke that you are going to pick them to cover and to win or
No,
to win?
because up and down, they've been so up and down all season, and you just don't know what version of Duke you're gonna get. Um, and like I said, I think they have the potential to win this game. It wouldn't really surprise me if they did win this game, but I'm gonna go with Virginia. I think they've just been a better team all season, and I can count on them to have a better performance.
I'm going to go with Dookie in this one. You kind of convinced me earlier when you were giving that whole Duke monologue and you hyped me up. I think it would also be hilarious for Manny Diaz to actually go ahead and get that ACC
Oh,
championship.
I think I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, either way, it would be good because it's like Virginia never had that chance. This was the only time they've beaten Virginia Tech in my entire life. Like,
Yeah,
like either way, it's a good story.
for
But
sure.
I agree with you. It would be so freaking amazing for a 7-5 team to win a power conference.
All right, Steph. That will wrap it up. Then let's go ahead and move over to our final segment. We got the music back. It's time for Clown of the Week. All right, Stefan, take it away. Who is your Clown of the Week?
I mean, my first clown of the week is somebody I don't really have to talk about anymore for this reason, but it's Lane Kiffin. I mean, I kind of gave all the reasons why before,
Yep,
so
I
I'm
think
not
that
gonna
that fits.
do huh?
I think he's a good Clown of the Week for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go through that again,
No, no, no,
but
no
yeah,
need.
it's Lane Kiffin, man. I mean, absolute
Self-explanatory. Yep.
clown show,
Release
perfect
the
for the
Lane's
circus.
files.
He needs to get one of those red noses and wear that when he coaches his next game. So, yeah, clown of the week, and my second clown of the week. I mean, I don't even really know who to give it to, but I'm gonna ask your opinion on this, but there was another ball boy incident. I'm pretty sure it was the Oklahoma game. Ball got kicked into the stands. A guy in the crowd, I guess, got caught it, and then the ball people went up there to try to get it back, and they were like wrestling him for it, and the guy like scooped one of the other guy's legs and knocked him down, and then he just throws the ball all the way to the side. And I'm just like, Why is there always a ball boy incident every single week with these people? It's like, I get it that it's your job to get the ball back, but like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not getting physical with anybody to get the ball back. Whether it's a player or a person in the crowd, like, I don't know what the rules are, but if it's the property and that could be designated as stealing, I'm just grabbing security and they can handle that because you never know what can happen when you start getting physical. What if that guy just knocked you out? You know what I'm saying? What if he drops you on your head? You never know who you're dealing with, and when you put your hands on people, now they have an excuse. So I think people really need to be more cautious when they in public, when you're at these events, you're at a football game, people are rowdy. Don't be getting up in people's faces. Don't be yelling at people. Definitely don't put your hands on people. And I get, like I said, if it's your job to get the ball back, okay, you go up there and you ask the guy, hey, can you give me the ball back? And if he says no, it's like, look, can you please just give me the ball back? But don't be trying to grab it out of guys' hands and wrestling on the ground and doing all this other nonsense. And then on the other side of it, I'm a fan. I'm gonna be honest. If I get a ball in the crowd and a ball boy tries to get physical with me, now I'm really not giving it back. So I mean, look, it is what it is. You know, I
Yeah,
just
I
I
ain't
just
fighting
don't
nobody
get,
for. Yeah, no.
huh?
Yeah, I ain't. I'm not. That's like you said. The guys in the stadium. That's as easy as calling the head of security, saying, "Hey, somebody in the crowd has a ball. Don't let them leave the stadium." And at some point, you're gonna get that ball back. Like it's not like they're gonna get out the stadium with the ball. So there's no need to be in the crowd wrestling. Like you said, you don't. It's 2025. People are crazy. You cannot. You don't know what
Like, yo,
people are
you
willing to
just don't
do.
know. What if you try to wrestle somebody with cauliflower ear that's a freaking MMA dude and he just break your damn arms?
Yeah,
I'm
nah.
telling you, you don't know.
Yeah, and these
You
these
just
ball
don't
boys ain't
know
getting
people.
paid NIL. Y'all ain't need to.
Like,
Yeah,
it's out of control. It seems like every week there's an incident with these ball boys. It is like there's no way. You know what I think? I think that there is no way. Mike, I've never been a ball boy before, but I'm just like I can't imagine that when you sign up to be a ball boy that they're like, you need to put your body on the line to get that ball back, son. You better do anything in your power to get that ball back. You better grab that ball out of that man's hands no matter what happens. Like I can't believe that that's what's going on. Whether it's a player on the field, because we've seen it with the players where a guy might get an interception, and then the ball boy goes to the other sideline and is like wrestling a dude for the ball, and it's just like, yo, like what is happening? Like now, what if that? What now you're doing this to a freaking amazing athlete. You think that guy can't just pick you up and drop you on your head if he wants to? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I just don't get it. I mean, I guess I need to do some research on the ethics of the ball boy and the rules surrounding this. But I'm pretty sure in the NFL, like when these type of incidents happen, they find the person and then they give them a ball. Like even when players give the ball to someone in the crowd, that usually like that's one thing I found out recently that that person doesn't keep that ball usually. That they usually give it back to the NFL and then the NFL will give them like a replacement ball because they want to auction that other one off, like the actual game ball. So I don't know. It's a lot of nonsense when it comes to these footballs.
yeah. Always, there's always some nonsense, some clownery going on in the football world. But all right, I think we close out the show there. We just want to again appreciate and say thank you to everybody who has been rocking with us throughout the entire regular season. It's crazy that the regular season's already over. It feels like we were just doing our week zero episode a couple weeks ago, and now we're here. But still, plenty of football left to go. We'll be here to talk about it all, and we still do our episodes in the off season as well. So we're not going anywhere. Make sure that if you love college football as much as we do, you follow us here at the Pigskin Live on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're also on YouTube. It is only the audio on YouTube. Hopefully, by next season we can maybe get some visuals for you guys on YouTube. But the audio is also there, available on YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram at the Pigskin Live. And yeah, it has been fun recording this episode. It should be a fun weekend of football, and we'll be back next week to talk about the playoff, because the playoff is basically upon us at this point. So
Yeah, at least those rankings come out on Sunday, so we
on
don't gotta
Sunday,
wait till Tuesday.
right? Exactly. So we will see you guys next week, early next week, to talk about all the action and the final playoff rankings. Till then, enjoy the weekend, enjoy football. See you guys next time.